Hi guys, this is Kristen with Hooks, Books, and Wanderlust. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet a picot edging on a crochet fabric. A picot is basically this little bunch of chains that gets worked on top of a base stitch. Most commonly you're going to see it worked over a row of double or single crochet, and so that's what I'm going to show you here first. The single crochet in this instance is going to provide us with a base stitch, is what I call it. And from here, you will work your picot on top of it. The other thing you'll notice is most commonly when you are doing a picot edging, you have what I call an empty stitch in between your picots. So you'll have your picot and then you'll have just a regular single crochet, and then you'll have a picot and then a regular single crochet, so on and so forth. If you are working from a pattern, it will tell you how many stitches in between, etc. If they prefer to change that or whatever it tells you to do, that's what you can do, obviously. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I am working a picot every other stitch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work a single crochet. I'm going to work my single crochet here into this next stitch. Okay. And as you can see, that has provided me a base on which to create my picot. So from here, I'm going to chain 3. A picot is generally a chain 3 unless it's otherwise specified in the pattern. Sometimes you might see a chain 2 to make a tighter cluster of chains, but most commonly it's going to be chain 3. So I've got chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. This is the trickiest part of the whole thing, the slip stitch. Normally a slip stitch is a pretty easy thing, but what you have to do is go in through the top of your base stitch here, in this case the single crochet, and then out the side of it. So I'm going to pull this out just a little long because I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. When you look at the top of your fabric and you have your single crochet, you're looking at the top of it, you've got this little V. So when you go to do the slip stitch on a picot, you're going to go down, you're going to put your hook down through the center of that V. The other thing, when you look at the front of your fabric and you are looking at the front of your single crochet, you'll notice that you have these 2 vertical bars. They sometimes look like a V as well, okay? So there's 2 V's, basically. You've got the top V and the front V. When you put your hook in to slip stitch, you're going to go through the center of the top V, and then through the center of your front V, and then out the side. And then at that point, you'll slip stitch as normal, you'll yarn over, pull that loop through both of those bars, and then through your working loop here. The working loop is the one that's on your hook currently. So let's see that here. So I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to insert it in the center of that top V of my stitch, and then through the left vertical bar, or the left bar of the V there, out the side of my single crochet. And now I'm going to slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through that vertical bar, and then pull through the top bar, and last, pull through your working loop. That is going to make the little cluster of chains that forms your picot. Now, as I mentioned, I'm following a pattern of picot on every other stitch. So that means I'm going to have an empty single crochet here next. I call it empty because it's just, it's just a single crochet. It doesn't have a picot worked on it. So I've got my empty single crochet and I'm ready to do my next picot. So I'm going to single crochet the next stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And once again here, I'm going to insert my hook in the top of my single crochet stitch, right through the center of my V. And then I'm going to pick up and put my hook under the left vertical bar and out the side of my single crochet. Yarn over, pull through that first vertical bar and the top bar, and then through your working loop. And there's your next picot done. We'll make our next empty stitch. So So we have just a standard single crochet there. Won't be putting a picot on that one. We'll do that for the next stitch. The single crochet next. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch now. We're going to go in through the top of our single crochet, picking up only that right straight through the center of our V. We're going to go under the left vertical bar of our single crochet and out the left side of our stitch. Yarn over and pull it through back the way you came and through the working loop for a slip stitch to close your picot. And I'm going to do just another single crochet here that's empty, an empty single crochet to kind of finish it off. And I'll tie off and I'm ready to move on to the next project, I suppose. So as you can see, oh, that's why I messed up. I goofed something up there, but that's okay. You get the idea. I have 2 empty stitches here accidentally, so that's why I didn't end on a picot like I had thought I was supposed to. But either way, you get the idea. The picot, it's kind of a little bit tricky with that slip stitch, just knowing where to put your hook. But once you've got that figured out, it's really pretty simple. I also want to show you guys how that's worked, how to work a picot over a row of double crochet, only because a double crochet looks a little different because of the height of the stitch. And if you are going to work my Autumn Walks triangle scarf, which is a free pattern on my blog, then you will want to see where to put your hook for this, because the last row of that pattern is picot edging worked over a row of double crochet. So I want to show you just really quickly here, the formula of it is the same. It's just the only difference is that it's a double crochet instead of a single crochet. So here again, I've got a picot, an empty stitch, a picot, an empty stitch. And so now I'm going to go ahead and work a based double crochet here in my next stitch. I'm ready to picot. So here's my base double crochet. And now I'm going to chain 3 just like always. 1, 2, 3. And similarly to the single crochet, I'm going to put my hook in the center of the top V of my double crochet. If you're looking at the top, you can always count your stitches back. So you had 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then this is your double crochet here. So I will put my hook straight through the center. Now, if you're looking at the front of your double crochet, it does look a lot different from a single crochet. There's a lot more bars and twists of the yarn that's going on. So where you want to put your hook is there, you'll notice there's this diagonal bar here just underneath the top bar. So that's where we're going to pop out the left side of our stitch. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to insert the hook in the top center of the V on top of the stitch. And here's that diagonal bar. And I'm just going to kind of pop right out the side with it. Yarn over and slip stitch. Pull the yarn through those 2 bars of the double crochet and then back through maybe my working loop there. So now that's a picot performed on a double crochet. Let me show you again. We're going to have an empty stitch between them again here. So I've got my regular old double crochet and now I'm ready to make my next picot. So I'm going to do double crochet base stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, insert my hook in the top of in the middle through the V of the double crochet, and then out underneath that diagonal bar through the left side of my stitch. Yarn over, pull through both of those bars, and pull through that working loop. And there's my picot. So I'm going to do an empty double crochet here next to space out my picots. And now I'm ready for my next picot, double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, insert your hook in the top V here. You're going to go straight through the top in the center of that top V, under your diagonal bar and out the left side of your stitch. Yarn over and pull through both bars and your working loop. I'm going to do this another time. Here, let's make our empty double crochet here. And now we're ready for our base double crochet. And we're going to do our Picot. Chain 1, 2, 3. Insert your hook through the center of the top V of your double crochet, under that diagonal bar, and out the left side of your stitch. Yarn over, pull through both of those bars, and pull through your working loop. And then you're ready to tie off, and that is how Picot is worked over double crochet. Now, the other thing I want to show you is that occasionally your pattern might actually call for a variation on the series, the number of chains performed in the Picot. For example, you might see a chain 2 Picot, in which case it's going to create a little bit smaller, more tight, small circle of chains here, as you can see that I have worked over in this swatch. So this is worsted weight yarn. You know, you're going to get a very different look if you experiment with different weight yarns and different chain 2 versus chain 3. Those are the most two common that I've seen, but you know, your pattern, it might tell you something differently, but the mechanics behind the stitch, the way you perform it, it's all the same. It's just a matter of following the number of chains that is told you and whatever your base stitch is. So that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, hit that like button for me and be sure to subscribe. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is I do have a photo tutorial for this also over on my blog. And that photo tutorial, I did it on the more complex double crochet so that you can really see more up close detail on the how to perform the Picot over a row of double crochet. So if you want, I will put the link for that down below in the description. Other than that, I think that's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all around again. Bye!